go. Kudos. Double your pleasure, double your fun. Double me gum. Double me gum.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, let's get it going. Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, aeroplanes. It's a Duckburg. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales.
DuckTales,
Woo!
When there's double, you can call DW.
Darkwing Duck. Oh my goodness. Today, oh my goodness, everybody, hello. Welcome to the Sabby and Jaybe show, the last Sabby and Jaybe show of the year.
I know. I can't believe it. Like I know New Year's Eve is this Saturday, but I still can't believe I don't know. It seemed like it flew by.
Right? Man, it flew by. Just to let you guys know, the Sabby and Jaybe show is available on Revolutionary Blackout Network every single Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. You can also catch Sabby on RBN on her show on Fridays at 6. You can also catch me on the Jaybe show on Sundays at 1 p.m. Also, did you like the stream yet? Give us a like if you've already been here. If you actually like what we talk about. And if you're still waiting to hear something that you like, stay tuned. Guess what? You'll like the stream by the end. And I hope you subscribe too. Good to see you. Always. Now. Wait, that was my Denzel Washington laugh.
Wow. Sounds just like him. You got to do the one from Training Day where he says, "My man." Wait, Jaybe, have you seen Training Day? Jaybe, for real, you haven't seen Training Day? Oh my God. Okay. Well, do the laugh and I'll do the line. My man. That's what he says in Training Day.
Mm-hmm. I've heard like quotes from them, you know, like King Kong ain't got shit on me, so that was basically it. But
well, what, you gonna kill me now? You gonna shoot me? You gonna just shoot me?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I need to watch. Look, I started to watch it and then I fell asleep.
On Training Day? Oh man, Jaybe, come on.
I was laying down.
I think that's one of the best Denzel movies, in my opinion.
A lot of people say so. I need to just sit down and watch it because just like watch it like when I'm wide awake so I won't fall asleep again. Yeah. Don't come for me in the chat. I bleed easily. Starting off with the people in the chat, we got Notori. Oh, wait, not Notori, but that's in the chat. Good to see you, Notori. Pinkus says, what? Leave it all behind, but we just met. Gamer's also in the chat saying hello. All right. Who else we got in the chat up in here? All right. We have Bling Girl saying, sorry I'm late. Just catching up on this Andrew Tate story. Bling Girl?
I'll talk about that tomorrow.
Oh, my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Tater Tot got. I call him Tater Tot because his head looks like a tater tot. But, right, my goodness. His old misogynistic ass. Bryce Smith says, sup, Sabby and Jaybe. All right. Old man Barker says, eh. Good evening, eh. Steve says, "Hi everybody. Just what? Just dance. Gonna be okay. Dun, 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 just
Just
dance.
dance.
Dun,
Spin
dun,
that
dun, dun,
record,
dun,
babe.
dun, 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 dun." Yippers in the chat saying, "Lee, Gamer, Bryce, Bling, Baker, Pinkus." Yeah. Mastermind Hours also here, giving laughs, giving happiness, serving us joy. My goodness. So everybody's just acknowledging everybody. I love it. We have Garvey Dent says, "I can't say anything. I fell asleep on Black Panther 3 times." Oh, you bored-headed demon.
Oh my God. How? Garvey.
You remember that part in Black Panther 2?
Yep.
You bored-headed demon. Oh
Oh
my
my
God. He
God.
said it with a carrot in his hand. That was hilarious. Oh my gosh. It's okay. Hey, the Willie Bragg Show. Hi, Sabby Sabs. Hi, Jaybe Font. Just let you guys know, I'm going to be on the Willie Bragg Show on Tuesday the 10th. I think it's at 8 p.m. So be sure to watch that. So that's going to be fun. So good to see you.
Woohoo.
Good to see you, Willie Bragg. All right. We have Lawrence Johnson says Jimmy went right to his silly fake phone calls with Mike McCrae.
That's usually at the end. Usually, right? Yeah, that's usually at the end of the show.
I don't know. I don't catch his show that often, but I catch it once in a while, especially with there's an RBN member on there. Then I'll definitely catch it, but I don't catch it as often. But once in a while, I'll catch it. Rick Solis says, "Hey, y'all. Good to see you, Rick." All right. My INFP brother.
Hello, Rick. Hello. Cheerio.
Cheerios and cornflakes.
I was watching a British movie earlier, so
Nice. Okay, so Lag66 says, "JB, tell me honestly, is Andrew Tate straight or gay?" That's an interesting question.
Mom's the word for me on this one because I really do not know. I don't know as much about him. So
I'm not going to say anything about Andrew Tate. I'll just say this. There are some men that are homo-romantic but heterosexual. And that's just not limited to one man. There's a lot of men out there. There are some men out there that are homosexual but hetero-romantic. Then there are some men that are heterosexual and hetero-romantic and homosexual and homo-romantic. But that's a whole nother thing to get into. That's a whole nother subject to get into. And I'm going to need a whole panel of queer people to talk about this one.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. If any of y'all queer in the chat, y'all know.
Well, let me know when that happens. I'll have to watch that one.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Anywho, let me see. Devotion Orange says, "Really?" Really. But I mean, I really don't know Andrew Tate like that. So I can't say whether he is or isn't. And even if I did, it's like kind of like, even if I did know, it'd be kind of like outing him, which I don't really believe in doing. You know what I mean? Because that's something personal that somebody needs to do. If they want to come out, they come out. But I will just say this blanketly about men in general. There's some that love men, but they're sexually attracted to women.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then there are some men who love women and are sexually attracted to women. And so you can tell some of those men too. You know, it's just, I don't know. But I don't know. But the whole thing about him being in Romania and getting caught, that was just interesting. Oh, Steve, thank you. Steve says a super chat saying, feeling generous today. JB got to pay his rent.
Oh, that's really sweet, Steve.
Thank you. Just to let y'all know, they also cut my mama's food stamps too. So my food stamps got cut, her food stamps got cut. All because of the cost of living for Social Security went up. It's just,
Isn't that ridiculous?
it's ridiculous. It's like, okay, we just start to get ahead, right? With the cost of living increase in our Social Security, but then they're like, oh, you're getting more from Social Security? Boom. So now we're back to square one where we were already at. It's like you can't win for losing. This is crazy. So yeah. But anywho, let's get to this. We're a little bit behind, and I want to get to this. So, and the respect for the Queen Sabrina Salvati. I want to open up. Okay, so what we're talking about with leaving it all behind. So what we did was me and Sabby came up with a list of 3 things that we each want to leave behind in 2022 that we're not taking with us in 2023. Right? This has to sit back here into the vestiges of memory, right? And so I'm curious as to Sabby's list, as to what she put on her list. I have my list of my own. And because I'm a gentleman, it's going to be ladies first.
Well, can we go back and forth? To be fair,
yes, we'll go back and forth. But I want to do one for you first, and then I'll do mine, and then back and forth. We can do that.
Okay.
So, what's the first thing you're leaving in 2022?
Okay, so I wrote 3 things down. Now, one of these is, only applies to me. Well, I guess it can apply to other people too, but that one's more personal. The other 2, I would like to send that message to everybody who's listening.
I did the same thing.
Not just me. Yay! All right, what's up? So the first one that I have, and I have a short clip for this, is leaving behind, spending too much time on social media. So that one is for everyone, not just for myself.
Okay.
And I'm going to explain. Yeah, I want to explain why. I find social media over the years to become time consuming. And I don't feel that it's healthy. And I'll explain to people what I mean by that. Like, it started with Facebook, at least for me, and then eventually, Instagram and Twitter. And I'm rarely on Instagram now, like very rarely. But what I would notice, especially this year, whether hanging out with friends or family or whatever, it's not the way that it used to be, because some people would be on their phone while they're having dinner with, it's like if you're hanging out with someone and you guys have like a dinner date, or you guys are like going to the bar for drinks or whatever, it really kind of kills the discussion and the moment when you have someone who's there with you in person, but they're on their phone on social media the whole time you're hanging out. It takes away from the experience. And so the message that I have to a lot of people is, I would recommend leaving that behind, like spending too much time on social media, because it can make you feel like you're connected to people, but you're really not connecting to people in person. You're doing it like virtually. Some of these people you probably never met before in real life, especially with Twitter. And it really, I think it affects people's well-being. So for me, I already started doing this. I spend less time on social media. That doesn't mean I won't post on social media, but I'm not sitting there going through my feed for like minutes at a time. And it used to get to the point where it's like I'd wake up in the morning, that was the first thing that I did, go on social media, whether it was Facebook or Twitter. I'm eating lunch, I'm looking at social media. I'm eating dinner, I pick up my phone to look at social media. When I go to sleep, or I'm supposed to be sleeping, I'm looking at social media, and it's just not healthy. And that's time, like hours that I could get back during the day, and you could get back during the day doing something else or actually hanging out with people in person. And it can become a habit and an addiction. And
Yeah.
I say this because I've seen this happen with myself. It's quite rude sometimes if you're hanging out with people and they're on their phone the whole time. It's like, what was the point of
Yeah.
us hanging out?
Yeah.
You know?
True.
So I've been guilty of it too. I have this video here that I want to play because there's another. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I already have it queued up if you want, or if you want to play it, then that's fine.
I'll play it.
Okay.
Because there's another girl, she talked about this too, and about her experience with it and why she actually decided to leave it all behind. But I have found these, social media and preface like what it used to be, especially Facebook, like people share their dogs, pictures of their dogs or kids and stuff like that. But even when it comes to Facebook, I've noticed that that can have an effect on people too. Because on Facebook, I feel like Facebook is where people go to spread a lot of positivity, but it's not necessarily healthy for the people who are not living in a positive moment. And what do I mean by that? If you go on Facebook and people are always sending pictures of, look at me and my boyfriend out to dinner. Oh, wow. Look at me going skydiving with my friends. Look at my cute little kid. Look at my cute little puppy. Look at the reality is what you'll see on Facebook most of the time is that people are not documenting the bad things that are happening in their life. So you look on Facebook and you see that like it can easily appear that someone has the perfect relationship with their boyfriend or their girlfriend, like their significant other. It can appear that like someone has the perfect kids, the perfect family life. And in reality, that's not true. And if you're one of those people that maybe, things aren't going well for you in your life, and you see that all the time on Facebook, then if you're not careful, it can make you question where you are at your point in your life. How is your relationship doing compared to theirs? Right? How are your kids compared to theirs? What did they get for Christmas compared to what you got for Christmas? And I think that's where like the danger can come in there. Whereas with Twitter is a lot more negative. And so it's the exact opposite. I rarely see positive things on Twitter. It's mainly just negativity. Everybody's attacking each other, calling people names, like that kind of thing. And Twitter, I found that effect it can have on people is, yes, it's a platform where people can kind of go to just let out all this like anger that they have inside. But at the same time, it can make people very cynical if you don't take breaks from that type of dialogue. So I'm going to share this video clip that this young woman posted here. Like I said, she left all of it behind, And I want you to hear what she has to say here. Let me mute my mic.
To someone become backwards, you get rewarded for saying things that make you seem virtuous.
As much as I have felt connected on Twitter, I also felt myself consumed by it on my phone all the time when I woke up, while I was eating, after I had written a paragraph, then I go check my phone. It was really bad. And the thing is, when you are constantly bombarded with negativity, your well-being declines.
See, on Twitter, everything was designed to evoke some sort of emotional response from me, just so it can go viral. And it truly did, whether I was aware of it or not. This isn't just anecdotal evidence either. A controversial experiment study done on Facebook found that a user's mood can be heavily affected by the moods of the posts they're exposed to. Researchers in this study manipulated the posts users were able to view. One group was shown more positive content, while the other was shown more negative content. Without their awareness, users took on the emotion of the posts they were mostly exposed to. So if they were shown more positive content, their mood would be more positive. If they were shown more negative, their mood would be more negative. This is called emotional contagion. It often happens in real life when you're with someone face to face. If they're sad, you will most likely be sad too. If they're angry, you will most likely be angry too. The Facebook study showed emotional contagion can be facilitated through social media platforms.
no matter how positive you are going to be subconsciously affected by the media you consumed. Maybe if you are positive, your well-being declines just a little bit, so you're still overall positive. But for me, I don't want my well-being declined at all. And 2020 really made that clear to me, that I need to be more mindful of the media that I consume.
Wow.
Yeah, it really does have an effect on people. And that's why even like with my show, like on my channel, that's why I started doing this thing where let me put something in that's a little bit more positive. So that's where like the ballot initiatives come in, like we're doing each state. So I already started that. So that's something that's a little bit more positive. So showing people, hey, look what they were able to get accomplished, you know, and not just a bunch of negativity, because it really will have an effect on your mood. So for me, that's something I would ask people to leave behind, is to stop spending so much time on social media. And mainly, I mean, looking at the feed all day. Like it's a lot. It's a lot. It also affects your posture. People are hunched over like this instead of sitting up like this. And I think it's something that I think we could do better with.
That is a great part of the list. And one of the things that is a good tip is, you know, if you are trying to lessen the amount, is delete the app on your phones. And if you delete the app on your phones, that means you have to go to the browser in order to open it up, which means it's more work. So if it's more work for you to do, then the likelihood of you opening it back up tends to lessen. That's if you want to wean yourself off it instead of cutting it off cold turkey and deleting the account. So it's just, that's something that you also can do. But for people like us, social media is important for us having a channel and being able to advertise and tell people about what's on our channel. But
yeah,
but
a
you're
friend of mine
absolutely
did that, by the way. A friend of mine, she removed Facebook from her phone.
Yeah, and it goes to show, and I kind of want to put this in out there as, remember the phrase "keeping up with the Joneses"?
I do.
Don't think that still doesn't exist. And the keeping up with the Joneses type of mentality is integral to capitalism, because it means that you have to keep up with others in order to still reflect their happiness so that you continually consume more. And what's also involved in these social media companies, you scroll and then boom, there's an advertisement. Boom, another advertisement. Boom, another advertisement. And you can't get away from them, right? Remember when Zuckerberg, in his very android-like smile as he tried to imitate human emotion, said, "We show ads." Remember that? Well, it's the same thing. Is that the ads are being shown to you.
Yes.
So you're constantly subjecting yourself to these capitalist companies, constantly trying to put you into the headspace of buy, 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 buy. When that consumerism is part of the capitalist construct to get you to consume more so that they can make more profit. So
yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
And that, I mean, and the ads are everywhere. Like they're on Facebook, they're on Twitter, they're on Instagram. Like I can't go, you know, I can't scroll and look at like 3 posts without seeing an ad. It's just, and I get it, like those platforms have to make money, but that too in itself, it's really annoying. And I will also say that you know, for me personally, like even on Twitter, like I don't look at my mentions. So for those of you who are on Twitter, there's those columns, like there's one that says like all, and there's one that says like mentions. I don't look at my mentions. You'll be in that thing all day. You'll be in it all day. People are like, did you see I tagged you in this? Nope. Did not.
Yeah. And that's a good lesson for me, because I tend to be on it a little bit too much. I remember when I took a break from it, I was actually doing mentally better when I took a break. And so I'm going to do that more because I need to. Because the thing is that it's not worth our mental health. Also, the people who I do meet online, I want to meet them, especially our comrades. I want to meet them in real life. So the ones who are in the Central Florida area near Orlando, if you're a comrade, look, let's step outside of social media and let's get together. Let's at least just have lunch. Let's have coffee and just get to know one another, because that's also a part of community building, right? So that's one thing that I want to try to do more of. I can't do it as much because financially I'm just, but I'm going to try to do as much as I possibly can. So
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And I want to say something that I know you're going to go to the super chats, but something that Lucy said, Facebook is the worst of all. You see people getting married when you're single, jobs when you're unemployed, and babies when your ovaries don't work. LOL. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Like people who may not be having the best go at things or whatever, and you're looking on Facebook and everybody else seems to be getting the things that you're still struggling to get. It can be quite depressing for some people. It really can.
Yeah.
Because reality is their life ain't that perfect either. They're just showing you that part.
Yeah. Or somebody you're interested in, and then that person gets with somebody else and they're plastering all over Facebook, and you're just like, right? It can be tough. It can be tough. So thank you for the super chat. Devotion Orange says, chiming in with Steve. Oh, thank you. And Steve comes in and says, come on, people. Me and Devotion Orange can't pay Jaybe's rent on our own. Oh my gosh, you guys. Devotion Orange comes in again, says, come on, y'all. Oh my God. And then Last 66 says, got my Sabby sticker 6 months ago and criticized her a couple months ago, and she didn't block me. I love Sabby.
I block trolls. I will block a troll, and I know who trolls are.
Thanks, guys, for the super chats. That means a lot. It really, really does. I appreciate it very much. Rory O'Neill in Rockfin says, I met Rome in Detroit in July. Oh, that's so cool.
Oh yeah. Rome is like Rome is the way that you see Rome here on RBN. Rome is the same way in person.
He's no different. Yep. No different. In fact, Rome is probably more funnier in real life than he is on Twitter. Because Rome had me rolling. But Royer also says, oh, by the way, Pancake will destroy Twitter. Let's do it. $5 a month cost.
Okay, I'm still waiting for it. I interviewed
Me too.
Yeah, we both interviewed the guy who's working on the back end of things in reference to Pancake. So I'm still waiting for it. Like I really do think, and I did get to see what it would look like. So I really do think that Pancake would be a game changer, right? So I'm still waiting.
It would be a game changer, but the CIA and FBI would hate it.
Yeah, they would. But we need something different. Like it shouldn't just be Twitter and Facebook and like I told you guys, like I have an Instagram account, but I'm rarely on Instagram. Rarely. Because Instagram is another one that can make you feel kind of like there's too many. I think with Instagram, there's too many influencers on Instagram. And so instead of me just seeing like my friends like pictures of like their lives, I end up being bombarded with like all the influencers who I'm not friends with those people. So for me, it's like I don't really care. I don't care to see what new lipstick Kylie Jenner is putting out. I don't care. I just wanted to see the pictures of like what my friends are doing, But yeah, so that's why I don't.
Look, I'm terrible on Instagram. There's 2 types of accounts 3 types of accounts. I follow family, I follow socio-political, like for instance, I follow different people on Twitter who are leftist as well, and they post things about leftist content. I also follow like Democracy at Work on Twitter. But then the last thing I follow is thirst traps. Sorry, I do. Don't say nothing, Sabs.
Okay.
Sorry, hey, I look, if we're gonna be honest here, sometimes I see some of the weirdest advertisements too. Like I saw one from Wish.com for some like see-through underwear. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, why are y'all showing me this ad?
Don't get me started on Wish. They're everywhere. I see them all the time, and I'm like, ugh. And there's jokes about Wish too. You order something from Wish and it looks one way, and then you get it and it's like half the size.
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, if Wish was a dating site, you think you're talking to an Asian guy and the black guy shows up at your door. You're like, what? Wait, I thought I was talking to an Asian guy. He's like, sorry, this is wild.
That's the Wish. Wish will get you, man. Wish will get you.
Oh man, beware of Wish. Yeah, it's like a wish a motherfucker would actually order from us, and then we'll send them what we want to send you. Oh man.
But what's yours? What's your
Okay.
one of your yeah.
All right. So wait, where did I put it? I had it. Wait, hold up. I put it up. The fuck? Oh, I probably just closed it. Okay. Let me put it up. I have my list. It's not in any particular order. Okay, I got it. Okay, so the first thing, this is personal for me. First thing I want to leave behind in 2022 is disorganization. I'm not the most organized person in the world. I just put all my folded clothes away. Yay for me, I guess. And so part of that means me also being more organized when it comes to my channel, wanting to make clips because I need to be more organized so that I can help the growth of my channel, also be more organized so that I can do better for myself mentally as well, because from what I've heard over the years is that your lack of organization could be a reflection of what's going on mentally and emotionally. And so, yeah. And so my lack of organization can be a hamper time-wise as well as feeling-wise, because there's a certain feeling that you get once everything is organized. You feel more at peace. And so I want to feel more at peace. And so that means me being more organized in my life. So that means being more organized with my time and how I prioritize it. Me being more organized physically within my own space, making sure things get done when they need to get done. Though it is a bit of a task being chronically ill, because I have a stamina level that drains faster than the average person. And so because my stamina drains faster, then I have to prioritize more different things. You know, for instance, Whereas a shower may be more relaxing for you, shower is more work for me. I mean, I do it multiple times a week, but I have to take that energy and then do it, right? Or cooking may not be that big of an issue for you, but it's more for me because it is more taxing energy wise. You gotta remember, I'm only normal 4 days a week. 3 days a week, I'm at dialysis. And because of those 3 days a week, I'm drained by the time I get home. And the majority of my day, by the time I get home, is sleeping, trying to recover energy from the treatment that I just got early that morning. So my week of actually being able to do things is literally almost cut in half. Almost cut in half. So 4 days. So because of that, organization would help me to keep things more focused so that I won't have to expend as much energy and choose like, oh man, I need this day to clean, or oh man, I need this day just to make clips. I can
Right.
just do it here, do it there, boom, boom, boom. And it won't be so bombarding on me. And I think that's something I'm learning. And it also means learning it by being around people who are more organized. Thankfully, I have you. Because you taught me, you're teaching me to be more organized, to be more exact in the things that I do and the things I prioritize. So first of all, I want to thank you for teaching me that, because you helped me learn that, look, you can still have a happy-go-lucky personality and still be organized. Newsflash, dipshit Jaybe, you can do it. So I just want to thank you for teaching me that.
Oh, thanks, JB. It was ingrained in me. I come from a military family, so my whole life,
Yeah.
my whole life since I was a kid, like things have been organized. So it's like, but you know, and there's things that come along with that too, because I'm not good with last minute items. And JB, you know this, and like those of you watching, I've told you guys this before. Like, I'm not good with last minute things. So, like, if someone contacts me and says, "Hey, can you come on tonight? Come on my show tonight?" Chances are I probably can't because my day is already scheduled. So, like, I am a ride or die schedule person. Like, from the time that I get up in the morning, I know what I'm going to do throughout that day till the time that I go to bed. And that's what works for me. That doesn't work well for everyone, but for me, that works really well. And when I do not have a schedule, I'm all over the place and I get stressed out and I'm not at my best. So I think that, yeah, it's, you know, sometimes I would envy people who didn't have to do that. Like, you know, I have friends that just could just like wake up and say, yeah, I feel like going for a run, and then probably go out to eat. Okay, cool. What time do you want to go out to eat? Whenever. I'll figure it out. Like, I used to envy that because I could never do that. I could never just say I'll figure it out. I'm like, no, what time am I going to go? Like, what time are we going to go to dinner? You know? So yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that. Like, I'm kind of in between. Like, I can be kind of fly by the seat of my pants, but at the same time, it's like, okay, yeah, we're going to dinner between 6 and 7, right? It needs to be around that time because I gotta go to bed. I gotta be up at 4:30 in the morning. You know, this is 38, baby. This ain't 24 no more. So
Yeah, I saw someone said I have a planner. Yeah, I really do. Yeah, I used to. I mean, I use my phone for most of that. But yeah, back in the day, I did used to have one of those planners. I always had one of those. Yeah.
I just started using my calendar this year. Just started using a calendar. And it helps. It helps me because there'll be times like, for instance, Willie Bragg is in the chat. I'll be on his show on the 10th. But how do I remember this? How do I remember it? Because it's in my calendar. Isn't that great? God, I need to organize more. Help me. And also another thing that really would help is that I don't have someone like I don't produce. Well, no. What am I saying? I produce myself. I don't have somebody that does it for me. So because of that, everything on my channel is done by me. Everything. So yeah, it kind of gets tough when it all falls on you too. So, but
yeah,
that's one of my things is organization. I need to be more organized. I gotta get that. So yeah, I'm gonna go to the chat real quick. Oh my God, this is so true about me. Esquaradista says, I understand. Sometimes too tired to talk. This is me. Okay. Sometimes after dialysis, people want to chat. And I want to be like, can you please zip your lip? Because I don't want to talk. I'm too exhausted to do so. And that's crazy. For some people, they're like, eh. Or sometimes even texting, I just don't want to talk. Unless it's something very interesting, it's like, no, I don't want to talk. I'm just exhausted to talk. It's like mentally the bandwidth just ain't there. It's like it's only open for so many things, and I'm like, okay, it's only going to be entertainment, something that makes me laugh, or something that makes me happy. I'm not going to open up that bandwidth no more. And so, yeah. So that was a good point. Oh God, Good Cookies. What in the world? Good Cookie says cocaine can help with that, Jaybe.
No
what?
Comment. No
comment. Swear
we do not. What's the word, Jaybe?
The opinions of RBN do not reflect the opinions of Good Cookies.
We gotta say that.
For legal purposes.
We do have to say that.
Yeah. So Construct says, Jaybe, as long as you care for you, all of us have our own way to detox from the world and come back to self. That's true too. Yeah. Eric T. Red, good to see you, says, I'm always trying to do 2 times more things than I have time for. Wow. That's interesting. My problem is I have to say no more often. Cat Terrell coming in with the tips says, just do a little cleaning at a time. Check the clock. You'll find chores take so little time, really. Yeah, you're true. That's true. Swear Fairy says, labels, bestie. Once your bins are labeled, it's easy to drop things right in it. That's also true. I got to get space for labels too, though. Or space for bins. MJ says, I organize and track all my finances and spending. How? God. Goodness gracious. Whew. Oh my goodness. Y'all. Some of y'all got superpowers, I'm telling you. JD Informer says, my New Year's goal is to walk to the end of my driveway. That's how I accomplish my New Year goal without issues. Oh, man. My goodness. All right. So, let me check Rockfin real quick. All right. So, no other comments on Rockfin. All right. So, Sabs, what is the second item on your list?
Okay, let's see. So the second one is, all right, this one's personal. Something I want to leave behind. Bad sleeping habits. I don't sleep well. I don't sleep well. And it's been a problem for a while. I am very much wide awake in the evening, and it is hard for me to go to sleep. And it's hard for me to go to sleep, not because I'm not tired, but because my brain does not wind down. So that's something that I'm trying to work on. I mean, there are like these meditation videos that I've listened to on YouTube that help. Like if like the other night I did that and I was able to just go whoo, like fall asleep immediately. But I've never been one of those people that can just fall asleep as soon as their head hits the pillow. I'm the person that will lay there for like an hour with my eyes wide open, just trying to figure out how to go to sleep. And then I wake up in the morning and I feel really tired, sluggish because I'm not getting enough sleep. So it's hard because in the evening my brain is really wired. Like that's when I do a lot of my thinking. That's when I do like a lot of like the writing, all that kind of stuff usually happens in the evening because I'm like, woo, like my brain is on fire. But it's a constant cycle. Like I don't drink coffee, right? I haven't had coffee in years. I do drink tea, but I don't drink it constantly, right? So the thing is like I used to have this problem more severely when I did drink coffee. Once I quit coffee and I just switched to like tea, then it was a little bit better, but it's still very problematic. And the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because sleep can really affect you in different ways. Right? Like it can affect your memory, it can affect your energy the next day. It can make you feel kind of honestly sometimes cranky if you're not getting enough sleep. So it can affect like dietary like issues that you may have. So I think that it's just really important to get that sleep. And all my life, I don't think I ever really got 8 hours of sleep a night. I would always wake up like in the evening. Like there was no, I'm going to sleep and I'm not waking up until the morning. Like I would always wake up in the middle of the night just because like, I don't know why, but so that's something that I'm trying to leave behind is those bad sleep habits. And one of the things I think that helps is like those meditation videos. I've tried chamomile tea too. The problem with that is like when it hits you, it hit me hard. And then when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, dude, like it will really make you feel really, really, really tired, even the next morning for me. So that is one of the things that I really do need to work on. And I think another thing that can help is not looking at my phone like right before I go to bed. And I do that too. So.
Yeah, the blue light from our phones can also affect our brains and how it responds, because that blue light makes you feel like it's still daytime when you're looking at it, even if it's late in the evening. The funny part is you're great with scheduling and organization. I'm terrible with it. But when it comes to time for me to go to sleep, I will fall asleep on you if you're on the phone. I'm on the phone with you. I'm like, if it's late, I'm like, sorry, Jaybe gotta go. Jaybe's not in right now. But if you leave your name, number, and a detailed message, he'll get back with you as soon as humanly possible. So that's how my brain works. It's kind of weird. But it's interesting you mentioned that because I had picked up this book a long time, a couple years back. It's called The Power of When. And this Power of When was by Dr. Michael Breus. And the interesting part about this book was it actually talks about different people having different circadian rhythms. And different circadian rhythms are really adapted to a specific time of day. This is why capitalism is so bad, because capitalism tends to revolve around a particular set of people who have a particular set of circadian rhythms, while tossing out the people who have a different circadian rhythm that may not be typical of everybody else. But anyways, that's not what he talks about in the book, but that's what I added in my head as a socialist. But the thing is that one of the things that I think is also very important is that a lot of times when we go to sleep, we may sleep, but the quality sleep that we get is not good enough. And as somebody that sold mattresses, because I took this in quite a bit, was that you can get maybe up to a point where you get to the REM, But when it comes to true deep sleep, where it's just where your brain starts to recover, your body really starts to recover, it doesn't happen. Or if it happens at very small intervals. So then that real true recovery doesn't happen. So then you wake up, even though you could sleep 8 hours, but it's not just about the amount of time, but it's also the amount of quality sleep that you get. And one of the things that I noticed was that, and I will always get asked this question because, look, I'm fluffy. Let's be real. Was that they would ask me, do you have sleep apnea? And I would say, no, I don't have sleep apnea. They're like, do you snore? I'm like, no, I don't snore. But then I asked my boyfriend, and I was like, do I snore? He's like, yeah, you were snoring. I'm like, shut up. So then I took a sleep study where they strap it onto your chest and they put it against your nose. And come to find out, I did have sleep apnea. And so they brought a CPAP machine to me. Thankfully, because Medicare actually paid for it, I was able to get one. And so what's sleep apnea? Sleep apnea is basically where your airway cuts off and you stop breathing in your sleep. This can affect brain function as well as your body being able to heal itself and also getting deeper sleep. With that being said, what CPAP does is that it has sensors in it that actually sense when you stop breathing, and it forces air into your system. So then you're still breathing. So then you're getting the deeper sleep. And one thing I noticed is that I actually am more well rested after using it. Like if I don't use it, I'm cranky and I'm very exhausted. So a lot of times, some of us may have sleep apnea. So if you don't get adequate sleep, talk to your sleep partner. Ask them if you snore, and if they say you do, you probably do. Don't deny it, and then also go see a doctor about getting a sleep study done to see if you have sleep apnea, and then you might need a CPAP because more people. This is one of the guys said that this is one of the most undiagnosed problems in our society today.
Yeah, some people don't realize that they have it until they get that sleep study done. I know that do you remember Fitbit? The little Fit, they used to be really popular, maybe
Yeah,
not
I
so much
remember
anymore.
those. Yeah.
So I had a Fitbit, and one of the things that you could do with the Fitbit is you could actually do the sleep test, right? To see
Oh,
if there are disturbances like when you sleep. So I did that, and I found what it'll show you is you go online or you go on the app and it'll show you how many times you were restless in your sleep, meaning that not necessarily that you woke up, but let's say you toss and turn in your sleep and you're just not realizing it or something like that. And for me, it was very much restless. I had a lot of restlessness in my sleep, and I am a tosser and a turner and that kind of thing.
uh,
So yeah, that Fitbit did kind of prove what I thought was happening all along. But yeah, that's something I really have to work on. And I think I never really got off of that college schedule where
mm,
you have class during the day, but then at night I still would have to write papers. So I would be up pretty late at night writing the papers, go to sleep and get up, and I might be kind of sleepy, but I would always have coffee to compensate for it and to make myself get that energy back. And I feel like I never really got off of that rhythm.
yeah. Part of that is capitalist conditioning, unfortunately. But also your mattress quality also matters too. And now a lot of people don't want to think about it. And so I got a cheap memory foam mattress a few years back. Best thing that I ever did for myself, because I used to be all over the place. Now I am a back sleeper, just purely. I lay on my back, I stay on my back until it's time to wake up. Then I may turn over right a couple of a few minutes before I wake up. But I'm a back sleeper, which some people are like, "Oh my God, what's wrong with you?" Nothing. The problem is that my quality of my sleep was affected by the mattress that I used too. So that also matters. But mattresses are super expensive. Why? Because of profit. So that's a whole
Yeah, they are
nother.
expensive.
Oh my God! I
What's
used to sell
what's your
them.
second one? I think we only got I just looked at the time. Sorry. I
Okay.
I talked too much. want to make sure I get to yours.
No, it's all good. My second one, this is going out to people out there. One thing we need to leave in 2022, MAGA communism. Leave it. Don't bring it to 2023. It needs to die. Do not bring that BS back with us to 2023. Absolutely not. Because really it's just a cover for people, for elements who are fascistic to co-opt the language of those of us who are revolutionary so that they could still maintain power. And how do I know this? Historical analysis. Who talked about this historical analysis? Parenti did. Parenti did. There's a reason why Nazis was called the National Socialist Party. Because they used the word socialist in order to co-opt it to make it more working class when really it never was. So the whole thing behind MAGA communism, leave that in 2022. Let it just be a funny memory. Like, I remember that? Yeah, okay, all right. Thank God we really left that. Yeah, let's leave it. Because it just has no place.
Is that still being discussed? I don't hear about it much anymore.
I hope not. I hope people are just being like, oh yeah, we actually talked about that this year. I hope when I say it, it's like, oh man, I can't believe we actually talked about that. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it needs to die in this year. We have literally 2 days left in this year. Leave it here. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to put it out into the universe. MAGA communism stays in 2022. It will not come into 2023.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I totally hear you. I think that, I mean, we have these kinds of things like come and go, right? Like it's trendy and popular for 1 minute and then it just kind of like fades away. That's what I was saying. I don't hear many people talking about it now.
Good.
But yeah.
Yeah. I was one number one. I was like, I'm putting this on the list.
Yeah, no, I know most people wouldn't, like most people I've spoken to do not support that. Are we on the third one now? Oh shoot.
We're on the second one. Wait, yeah, you're on the third one. You're doing the third one.
Okay, this one is for everybody.
Oh, okay.
Everybody. Sorry, 90s jam. Something to leave behind in 2022. This is for all you guys. Dwelling on the past. And I say this whether we're talking about its politics, whether it's personal relationships, whether it's beefs or whatever, disappointments that you've had from people. I would say going into 2023, I think it's time to focus on the future, focus on the present and what is ahead of you, and not dwelling on the past. And I'll give a couple of examples here. Look, we all know Bernie Sanders failed us, right?
Yeah.
So we've heard about this last year, this year, like we've heard about this for like 2 years now. I think bringing that up again and saying Bernie Sanders said this, he was going to do this, he was going to do that. Man, he broke my heart. Man, I think we need to leave that in the past.
Let it go.
Because going back to that place, and I had to, even catch myself for this too. Going back to that place, yeah, it brings back like good memories during that time, but it also makes me feel more bitter again because I saw what we had and what we could have had going forward. And so I think we know what happened, at this point. And I think it's just gotten to the point now where we should not we should not dwell on that anymore. That's just one example. Another example is, this is another thing about this, goes back to social media thing. The constant like fighting and beefing with people on Twitter. Like, one thing I'll tell you about me, I'll say what I need to say and then I keep it moving. I'm not trying to go back and revisit it. I'm not trying to re-engage. After I say what I had to say, I'm not trying to go back. And so for me, it's just whatever beefs or arguments you've had with people on Twitter going into 2023, try to put that in the past and move forward, whether they were in the right or the wrong. It's just, I don't like rehashing. That's something that really bothers me, is like the constant rehash. Like, you may have settled something with someone, and then here comes someone. There's another reason why I look at my mentions. They'll try to tag you and say, oh, did you see so-and-so said this? I don't care. I don't care. Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Who cares? So just try not to do that, because I want to, issue a warning to people. When you spend so much time focusing on the past, that can actually dim your future.
You can't drive while continuing to look in the rearview mirror.
That's right. You have to, at some point, learn how to move forward. Otherwise, you will be filled with guilt and resentment and bitterness. And if you don't find a way, I'm not saying you should have never released it. You have to release it, because it will eat you up inside, right? Stress kills people.
Yes.
You have to release it. But once you have released it, it is very important that you learn how to heal and move forward. And if you don't get to those steps of healing and moving forward, you will constantly be in this battle of rehashing the past. You have to learn how to move on. It's not healthy. So all the three things I mentioned, I just realized all the three things that I mentioned, all of these have to do with mental health. And it is just not healthy. I'm trying to tell you guys, you have to learn how to move forward. Even if that means that whatever the conflict was in the past, whether it was a person or a politician or whatever, even if they're not willing to do that, you do it anyway for your own benefit.
Yeah. I also think, to add to your point, it's also a means of not holding people to who they were in the past, especially if they've already evolved on a certain point or a certain trait. Because sometimes we'll hold people to who they were, not who they are. And I think that's something that we need to do as a people, as a whole, is if they committed transgressions in the past, and if they are accountable for it, okay, they did the crime, they do the time, that's it, let's move on. Because the thing is that, and when I'm talking about transgressions, I'm talking about ones that, are just like mental, verbal, personal, that aren't necessarily crimes. You know what I mean? Because crimes is a whole nother thing. But people need to forgive. And it's not always for them, it's for yourself. Because why are you constantly taking poison, expecting the other person to fall? Doesn't work like that. The best thing for you to do is to, if it is completely dominating your life, that's something for you to look inward and work on yourself and see why. And then if that's not the case, then let it go. Learn from that person. And if they are somebody that's toxic, learn from them. And here's the thing, here's the beauty about rearview mirrors. They're only there to glance at. They're there to glance at. They're not there for you to peer into. They're there for you to glance to see what's behind you so that you know where you came from. But there's a reason why the windshield is as big as it is, because that's where your focus needs to be. Your focus needs to be on moving forward. While also you still remember, like for instance, hate to be gruesome, but look, see these? I remember these scars. I can touch them and feel them, and I can remember them, but I'm not focused on them. I continuously move on. I can go, man, that was an interesting surgery, and it's there for me to glance at, but I don't have it in my face all the time. See what I mean? Sometimes we have to treat things like they're scars, or sometimes you have to treat things like they're in the rearview mirror. Glance at to remind yourself of what you let go, but keep moving forward. Don't let these things hold you back from moving forward.
And don't sweat the small stuff. Like sometimes I think we make mountains out of like a molehill, right? Like making things that are actually not big issues, making it a big issue. Don't sweat the small stuff. Trust me, you will be less stressed by doing that. Because you can't control, like this is what I'll tell you guys. Look, you cannot control what other people do or say, but you can control how you respond to it.
When you make a mountain out of a molehill, you're giving the person more power over you. You're making their little tiny anthill into a mountain. You are shrinking yourself in order for them to seem bigger than life. And that's the problem. You're giving them power that they do not have. If you constantly give people that power, then they'll constantly have power over you. Take that power back, guess what? You grow, and that hill becomes smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller to the point where it's like, you just keep on walking. Because what do you do with anthills? Do you stand and go, oh my God, it's an unsurmountable hill? No, you just step over it. Right? You don't do that because you realize how small and insurmountable it is. If you give them the power, that hill grows to that point where it's a mountain. It's like, I can't pass this.
Thank you. That's right. That's right.
So
That's right.
Stop giving people who don't matter in your life power over you. The people who should influence you the most are the ones who actually help you to grow over those mountains and make them into the little anthills. Those are the people who matter in your life. Anybody else, then you can either keep them at arm's length and show compassion and kindness, but keep them over there. Or if you're comfortable enough, cut them out. But
that
either way.
And that doesn't mean that you have to be their friend.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you have to be their friend. Like you can respectfully move on without having a relationship with that person. But what it does mean is that you have enough respect and dignity for yourself that you are willing to move forward and let bygones be bygones. And I think sometimes that's just what you have to do. But I don't like the back and forth tit for tat shit. It pisses me off. It really pisses me off, Jaybe. And we talked about this. It is really bothersome to me when people tag me in other people's drama. Like I don't care. Things that I have nothing to do with.
Yeah.
Did you see this? Did you read this? Did you? And then people wonder why. This is why I stopped looking at my mentions. Like, I really don't give a fuck who said what about what. That has nothing to do with me. Rome made a really good point on Twitter, and I think this was really good. Rome said, please do not tag me unless you're asking me to help someone in need.
Yeah.
Especially like if you have our contact, like if you have my number or like you know what I mean? Like why not just text me or pick up the phone? Like I really don't have time for it, man. Don't have time.
Yeah. So that was a really good lesson, Sabby. Definitely. Now, because for the sake of time, I'm going to go to my last one. Where did I put as my last one? This is also mental health, Sab. Okay. My last one is I wrote this down. I said more affirmation to others, workers, loved ones, neighbors. What does this mean? This means letting people know not only do you care about them, but that you love them, but also that they matter themselves. Letting people know that they are important in their life as well. Letting them know that the world is better with them in it. So many of us are going through so many harsh trials and tribulations, part of it due to capitalism, that we honestly look at ourselves and see ourselves as nothing, when really we are something. And sometimes we need someone to acknowledge that within us. You see, this whole individualistic, I don't need nobody, we also got to let that go. We just have to be selective of who we need, right? Because the thing is that we do need each other. But we can do without the negative elements in our society, but continuously bring in the positive elements. That's just like saying, oh man, I'm so unhealthy, I'm cutting off food completely.
That's right, Anna.
Yeah, Anna. Great. You're not going to say I'm cutting off food, because you'll die. What you do is you cut off the unhealthy food and you embrace the healthy food. Same thing with people. You cut off the unhealthy aspects of people or unhealthy aspects of yourself. See? And then you embrace the healthier aspects and try to bring that in order to build yourself up. And that's what I mean by more affirmation to others. I'm gassing your ass up. I'm telling you how great you are. I'm telling you how lovely you are. I'm going to tell you how positively I think about you. I'm going to tell you how good you look. I'm going to tell you that you are the kindest, most compassionate person. I'm going to wish positive things upon you. Because in a world full of people that try to tear you down, in a world full of sarcasm as being funny, in a world full of making people look down on others, I'm going to try to be the opposite. Because the real goal is to build up. We live in this competitive nature as in capitalism, right? It's always to compete against one another, to tear one another down. I'm about cooperation, collaboration. That being said, my cooperation, collaboration means that I want you to be the best that you can be, so that when I collaborate with you, we make beautiful music together, baby. And that's what it's about. So I want you all to know that you are better than even what you realize. You too, Sabby. You're better than what you realize. CJ, Nick, Rome, y'all are better than you realize, and you guys are greater than you realize. And everybody that's watching, the world is better because you exist. Because if something happens to you, then what happens? People become depressed. Why do they become depressed? Because you're gone. And people don't want to see you gone. They want to see you here. Why? Because you made their life better. That's what matters. And that's what it means by positive affirmation, is by letting people know that they matter. They matter not only to you, but they matter to a lot of other people. And I'm seeing a lot of depressed posts on Twitter. And the thing is that I keep letting people know that there's value in you. You may not be the most well-spoken. You may not be the most impressive person on a wide scale, but guess what? You impress somebody and you help somebody. And what do I always say? Leave the world better than you found it. But you don't have to change the entire world, just somebody's world. And you can do it just with kind words.
Yep.
With a sincere action. Even just messaging somebody saying, hey, I just want to let you know, I think your takes are wonderful. And I just hope you have a great day. It doesn't take any money. It doesn't take that much time. It just takes some sincerity, and boom, you already changed somebody's world, which means you did something good, which means you actually have a lot more worth than you think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a great message, JB. Such a great message. You guys notice like the things that we picked out for what we want to leave behind in 2022. Most of the items that we picked out have to do with you taking care of yourself. Self-care. If that even means sometimes you may have to take a break if you can. But you have to make sure you're taking care of yourself, not just physically, not just mentally, also spiritually. Like if you are not at your best, that will affect the people around you and they may not be at their best and vice versa. So you have to take care of yourself. That is very much important.
Yep. And you know what's funny, Sabs? We came up with the idea of the show to let our hair down, to be more chill, because we focus so much on the serious topics, and so that people can decompress. I mean, we still talk about, some serious stuff, but it's not as intently as, say, RBN Live, the Nick and CJ show, such as, your show on Fridays, my show on Sundays. We talk about those deep things. Well, this is a decompression that we try to do on the show. And the fact that we actually both came to this, I'm quite proud of you for coming to this, and that we can actually come together and put this out here like this. And for the last show of the year, I think it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I'm proud of you too, JB. I mean, we realize that we do typically on RBN and on our channels as well. We pretty much a lot of times we talk about some pretty heavy stuff, right? And there might be some humor in there in between, but we realize that the things that we talk about can be kind of heavy. That's why for this show, we kind of make this a little bit more chill.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just need a break from all that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to just go through a couple of chats because we gotta get going soon. But interesting. Stefan says that's why I'm leaving politics this year in 2023. Interesting.
Oh, did we get Steve's super chat?
Hang on. Soul Construct says we all matter. Steve says, Sabby, take melatonin and magnesium before going to bed. Dim the lights a half hour before bed. I do take melatonin once in a while, and then once this stream is over, my lights are going off. No. Like by the time 9 o'clock hits, 8:30, 9 o'clock hits, my lights are off. Like my room is dark by the time we hit that time, unless I'm really busy with something. But yeah,
I usually have a dim light on when I'm doing call in. I usually have the light pretty dim then. But yeah, I see what you're saying, Steve. I don't think I've ever had melatonin. Right?
Oh, that can help because, well, it depends on the person. And also, we are not medical experts, and this is not medical advice. We're not doctors. But in my personal anecdotal experience, for me, melatonin works because it helps you drift off to sleep easier, but then you don't have that groggy feeling when you wake up.
Okay. That's what I was worried about.
But I take the melatonin gummies, which are a little bit more dangerous because they are delicious. So you got to be careful with those because they taste really good. But I know. Everything got to be food with Jaybe. But I'm going to sleep tonight. So yeah, melatonin gummies. I usually take those. They come in 3 and 5 milligrams. So if you want to try it at least for one night, before you go to bed, you can always try it. But I always say consult your doctor first before doing anything. So yeah. But Sabby, what do you have going on later this evening on your channel?
I got news stories tonight. 3 news stories, and the other one is we're going to go over the ballot initiatives for finish those for Alabama and the one for Alaska, and then we are going to do the call in after that. And then Saturday, guys, I do have that New Year's Eve stream with Kerberos Media, Hardlands Media, and Chicago Corner. That's going to be an all-day event, just like last year. I did this last year with Kerberos Media, and it was a fun time. So definitely, if you're looking forward, there's going to be several different discussions, different panels, all that kind of stuff. Tune in for that because that'll be a fun-filled experience. And Jaybe, I think, are you coming to the last panel that night, the news countdown?
Yeah, I'll come on.
11 o'clock. 11 p. It's 11.
I gotta look. I'm gonna have to take a middle-aged man nap before then, but yeah.
It'll be so, guys. At the last hour, 11 p.m. to midnight, we do the top 20 2022 stories, news stories that you guys voted on. That poll that I sent out via my Substack letter. That's what that was for. We did this last year too. It's pretty fun. And then Jimmy from Kerberos Media, she does a video of all those stories and she puts together this format. It's really cool. It's fun. Definitely check it out. This Saturday starts at 9 a.m. goes till midnight.
All right, cool. For my channel next Sunday, I'll just be covering some news stories. It's not anything it's going to be some tough subjects, of course, but yeah, I'll be covering that on my channel. But yeah, you can always tune in to me, and then on my channel I'll be on the Willie Bragg show that evening on January 10th. So, and also on January 10th on my channel, I'm going to be having on Awkward because, we had to postpone. So, yeah. And then I also put in the chat my channel, Jaybe's channel. All right. So that's basically it. Abby, time for us to get going. Look, Happy New Year, everybody. All right. Thank you very much. Did you like the stream? Make sure to like the stream. Make sure to subscribe as well. And we'll see you when we see you. Bye. Bye. Happy birthday. No, wait. No, happy birthday. No, I'm not saying that. End the stream.